Hello, welcome to H1BTalents.com. USCIS has recently announced the EAD for H1B visa holders. This is good news for all the H1B workers who are residing in the USA, especially those who are laid off or who are in layoff fear. This video explains who all applies for the H1B EAD, its advantages, eligibility criteria, and more. Let's take a deeper look at it. What is H1B EAD? H1B EAD stands for Employment Authorization Document for H1B non-immigrants. It is known as Compelling Circumstances EAD for H1B holders. Under certain circumstances, an H1B visa holder may be eligible to apply for an employment authorization document based on compelling circumstances. This provision is intended for situations where the H1B visa holder faces extraordinary situations that may warrant temporary work authorization outside of their H1B status. What are the advantages of having H1B EAD? Here are some of the potential advantages. Ability to work. The most significant advantage of a compelling circumstances EAD is that it allows the H1B visa holder to work in the United States during a period when they may not have been authorized to do so under their regular H1B status. This can be crucial for individuals who are experiencing unexpected employment changes, layoffs, or other challenges that impact their ability to maintain H1B employment. Flexibility in employment. With a compelling circumstances EAD, the H1B visa holder gains the flexibility to work for any employer in the U.S., not just the specific employer listed on their H1B visa petition. This provides more opportunities for finding alternative employment during difficult times. Continued presence in the U.S. The EAD allows the H1B visa holder to continue residing in the United States legally, even if their H1B visa status has been affected by the compelling circumstances. This can prevent potential legal issues and maintain lawful presence in the country. Spousal employment. In some cases, compelling circumstances may also impact the H1B holder's dependent spouse, who may be on an H4 visa. If the H1B holder obtains a compelling circumstances EAD, their dependent spouse may also be eligible to apply for an H4 EAD, which allows them to work in the U.S. Temporary relief. The EAD based on compelling circumstances provides temporary relief during the period of hardship. It is usually granted for a specific period, depending on the USCIS discretion and the duration of the compelling circumstances. Flexibility in employment. With a compelling circumstances EAD, the H1B visa holder gains the flexibility to work for any employer in the U.S., not just the specific employer listed on their H1B visa petition. This provides more opportunities for finding alternative employment during difficult times. Path to long-term solutions. While the EAD itself is a temporary benefit, it can provide the H1B visa holder with the opportunity to explore long-term solutions, such as finding a new job with a sponsoring employer or pursuing other immigration options that may lead to more stable, long-term work authorization. What is the supporting evidence? Based on your circumstances, you would have to submit the supporting evidence accordingly. Here is the information. Detailed personal statement. Write a comprehensive and detailed personal statement explaining the circumstances you are facing and how they are beyond your control. Clearly describe how these circumstances directly impact your ability to maintain your H1B employment. Medical records. If the compelling circumstances involve serious illness or medical conditions affecting you or your dependents, provide medical records, diagnosis, and any relevant documentation from healthcare professionals. Employment documents. If the compelling circumstances are related to changes in your employment situation, provide documentation such as termination letters, layoff notices, or any communication from your employer that supports your claim. Affidavits and letters of support. Gather affidavits from individuals who can attest to the truthfulness of your circumstances. These could include family members, friends, colleagues, or community members. Financial documentation. If your compelling circumstances have resulted in financial hardship, provide relevant financial records such as bank statements, tax returns, or proof of outstanding debts. Proof of dependence. If your compelling circumstances involve your dependents, provide documentation establishing their relationship to you and their dependency on your H1B status. Timeline of events. Create a timeline outlining the sequence of events leading to compelling circumstances to help USCIS understand the context and impact. Other relevant documentation. Include any additional documents that support your case. Whether all H1B visa holders can apply for the EAD. Please check the eligibility criteria later in this video. However, the USCIS evaluates each case on an individual basis to determine if the applicant meets the requirements for compelling circumstances. The circumstances must be beyond the H1B visa holder's control and must be substantial enough to justify the need for employment authorization. What are the circumstances under which I would apply for an H1B EAD? Because the concept of compelling circumstances is discretionary and evaluated on a case-by-case basis, there are no fixed guidelines for eligibility. However, I can provide you with the information on what might be considered when applying for an EAD based on compelling circumstances. Nature of the circumstances. The circumstances you're facing must be significant, serious, and beyond your control. Examples could include severe illness or medical conditions affecting you or your dependents, sudden and substantial changes in your employment situation, domestic violence, or other severe personal hardships. Impact on H1B employment. You should be able to demonstrate that the circumstances you're facing have a direct and substantial impact on your ability to maintain your H1B employment. This could include situations where your H1B job is at risk due to factors beyond your control. Evidence. You'll need to provide strong and convincing evidence to support your claim of compelling circumstances. This could include medical records, affidavits, documentation of employment changes or layoffs, police reports, in cases of domestic violence, and any other relevant documentation. Duration. The USCIS may consider the duration of the circumstances and the expected timeframe for resolution. Your circumstances should be of a temporary nature that requires work authorization during a specific period. Request for discretion. You would need to request USCIS to exercise their discretionary authority to grant you an employment authorization document based on the compelling circumstances you're facing. The eligibility criteria to apply for an H1B EAD are: you must be lawfully present in the country in one of the following non-immigrant categories: E3, H1B, H1B1, O1, or L1 as of the day you submit your application for employment authorization. You must be the principal beneficiaries of an approved Form I-140. You must not have filed an I-485 adjustment of status. The Department of State Visa Bulletin's final action chart's current date cannot have been reached by the priority date of the approved I-140 petition. You haven't been convicted of a crime or 2 or more misdemeanors. You must prove your compelling circumstances. It is important to note that the employment authorization document based on compelling circumstances for H1B holders is a discretionary process. There are no specific guidelines or a predefined list of supporting evidence provided by the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services for this category. However, to strengthen your case for compelling circumstances, you should gather relevant and convincing documentation. Thank you. Sorry for the long video. However, I hope this information is useful. Please don't forget to subscribe for the latest immigration updates for the USA and Canada.